You know, as marketers, we love to say we're data-driven. I mean, our dashboards are just overflowing with signals, scores, all kinds of metrics. But what if all that data, all those charts that are pointing up and to the right, are actually leading us astray? Let's dig into this growing disconnect between the numbers we see and the results we're actually getting.
Does this feel a little too real? You've got first-party data, third-party intent signals, lead scores, the whole shebang. Your engagement metrics look amazing, right? But then you look over at the sales numbers, and they are just stubbornly flat. It feels like you're doing everything right, but the needle just isn't moving. So what is really going on here?
And this, right here, is the heart of the matter. Summed up perfectly by Kristen Van Laren, head of marketing at Peridio. Engagement doesn't equal readiness. Think about that. Just because someone is clicking and downloading and viewing your content, it doesn't mean they're ready to buy. It's a really simple sentence, but wow, it challenges the very foundation of a lot of modern marketing playbook.
So we're calling this the data-driven disconnect. It's that super frustrating gap between the story your marketing dashboards are telling you and the reality of your sales pipeline. Now, to help us close this gap, we're going to draw on insights from two amazing experts who have really complementary takes on this. Kristen Van Laren and Michael Egerling, the CMO at Peak NIL.
Okay, so how do we even start to fix this? Well, let's begin with the data itself, which can feel so overwhelming. Michael Egerling offers this brilliant, super practical framework for bringing some order to the chaos. And it's not about getting more data. It's about creating a hierarchy for the signals you already have.
At the very, very top of Michael's hierarchy, we're talking Tier 1. We have our highest intent, hand-raising signals. These are your demo requests, your contact form fills. These are the red-hot leads that need attention right now. Then, moving down to Tier 2, you've got your more nuanced first-party signals, like people visiting specific high-value pages on your site. Think pricing or really technical use cases. And below that, Tiers 3, 4, and 5, they represent these progressively broader and less urgent signals, from industry report downloads all the way down to general third-party data. But here's the most important part, the simple, powerful rule for actually using this. You have to work through these tiers in order. Don't let your team get distracted by some Tier 4 social media, like when you still have unaddressed Tier 1 demo requests sitting there. You exhaust one level completely, and only then do you move to the next. It's just a beautifully disciplined way to focus. Okay, but organizing your data? That's only half the battle. While Michael's framework helps us prioritize what signals to act on, Kristen Van Laren argues that the most critical data, the why behind the action, it isn't in any tool or dashboard. It's found in the one place a lot of us marketers tend to overlook, actual sales conversations.
And this just illustrates the difference perfectly. Dashboards, they show you what happened. A click, a download, a page view. But sales calls, they reveal why it matters. Or maybe why it doesn't. Kristen describes it perfectly. Marketing shows sales a lead where all the signals are flashing green, but the salesperson says, not really. In the call, they found out there was a reorg, or the project got defunded, or maybe the timing is 6 months off. A dashboard just can't capture that essential human context. No way.
Now, you might be thinking that getting this kind of insight must require some wildly expensive, enterprise-grade tech stack. But here's the real kicker. Kristen's single source of truth is built on a budget of about $100 a month. Yeah. She uses Fathom to record calls, Zapier to pipe the transcripts into one central place, and an AI tool to organize it all. It is definitive proof that the most valuable data is about having the right process, not the most expensive tools.
Okay, so if we can't just rely on raw engagement metrics, what should we be looking for? Well, Kristen highlights 3 specific behavioral patterns that signal an account is truly getting ready for a sales conversation. These are the real clues, hidden inside all that noise.
First up, multiple stakeholder engagement. This is huge, especially for technical products. An engineer alone rarely makes the final purchase decision, right? They're the user, but not always the buyer. But what happens when you see that engineer digging deep into your technical docs at the exact same time a business leader from that same company is browsing your main website or your pricing page? That is a massive green flag. It tells you the interest is spreading and an internal conversation has probably already started. The second sign is all about the depth of that engagement. I mean, it's one thing for someone to visit a high-level, "What is our product?" page. That's just curiosity. It's another thing entirely when they're drilling down into documentation about how your product integrates with a very specific NVIDIA board. That level of detail signals they're not just curious anymore, they are actively evaluating and probably trying to solve a very specific problem, maybe even building a proof of concept. And the third sign is this change in language that Kristen calls the question shift. This is that magic moment a prospect's focus just pivots. They stop asking these general questions like, what are your capabilities? And they start asking specific, logistical questions like, how do your capabilities integrate with our existing stack? Or how would this work with our current workflow? That shift from general interest to personal application, that's the moment intent truly becomes real.
So, you've seen the signs converge. Multiple people are engaged, they're deep in the weeds, and their questions are getting super specific. You think an account is ready, but how can you be absolutely sure before you pass it over to sales and risk their valuable time? Well, Kristen has a simple but incredibly powerful test for every single handoff. Just ask yourself this one question, and your answer can't be, well, they opened our email 47 times and downloaded a white paper. As Kristen says, that is not a story. Sales would just eat me alive. You need to be able to actually articulate the narrative. What is the evidence that suggests something is happening inside that company that makes your solution relevant at this exact moment?
Now, this is what a good handoff sounds like. It's a story. See how it connects the dots between different signals and different stakeholders? It paints a picture of intent. It gives the sales team a compelling in and a reason to reach out that goes so far beyond a simple activity score. It's not just data anymore. It's actionable intelligence.
All right, we've covered a ton of ground here, from a high-level framework for organizing your data all the way down to the tactical clues that signal real intent. Let's pull it all together into an actionable playbook you can start using, like today.
Here it is. 1. Prioritize signals using a hierarchy so your team is always focused on the hottest leads first. 2. Remember that sales transcripts are more valuable than most dashboards because they reveal that crucial why. 3. Stop confusing engagement with readiness. They are not the same thing. 4. Look for that convergence of signals from different stakeholders to spot the real buying committees. 5. Always use that why now test before a handoff to make sure you're passing along intelligence, not just data. And 6. Meet with sales constantly, like weekly, because the context you uncovered last week might already be totally irrelevant today.
So as you go back to your dashboards, ask yourself this. The goal isn't just to collect more signals. It's to find the ones that, when you put them together, tell a coherent story. So take a hard look at your data. Is it just making noise? Or is it telling you exactly who to talk to, and maybe more importantly, why they need you right now?